Hi, everybody. Hello and welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. My name is Andrea Amador. I'm the author of the book Loving the Skin You're In, The Juicy Woman's Guide to Making Peace with Food and Friends with Your Body. And I invited you here today to teach you about a really important life-changing concept. And I know that so many women have a tendency to beat up on themselves. And I used to do that for years, forever. And this is something that will completely change that for you. Because when we beat up on ourselves, we tend to think, oh, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have done that. What's wrong with me? Why did I do that? I never think, all of these things. And we just get into this cycle of feeling bad about ourselves and feeling ashamed. And what that does is it just kind of pulls us deeper and deeper into feeling badly. And that's not useful. So, this whole idea of what about if there is no failure? What amazing, amazing concept. What if there's no such thing as failure? And every single time that you made a mistake, instead of it being a failure, a stupid thing, whatever it is that you would call it, what about if you look at it as just feedback? Oh, wow, that didn't work. Let's try something else. Tell me, do you have a light on in your home right now? Do you have electricity on? Well, let me tell you, if you have a light and you have electricity, the person that you have to thank is Thomas Edison. Do you know how many times he tried to get the filament right for the light bulb? I'm not exactly sure of the specific number, but I know it was over 25,000, either 10,000 or 25,000. I think it was 25,000 times. That means that he tried to create this light bulb that is giving you and I electricity and light and brightness and computers and television and music and everything that we love so much is as a result of this man's persistence and him saying, no, you know what? I'm not going to give up. Maybe he wanted to give up. Maybe at like number 5, he said, you know what? This is ridiculous. I can't do this. But something pushed him and he went to 10 and 20 and 30 and 100 and 500 and 5,000. That's us. What if there is no failure? There is no failure. Because failure is when something is over, it's done. You can't fail in the middle of something because you can always do something else. So, what I named this episode today is it's feedback, not failure, French toast. So, we'll be making some French toast today. And I want to walk you through a couple of examples of something. When a plane flies, when a plane takes off and it goes from Hawaii to California, or really anywhere at all, it is never going in a straight line. It's true. It's true. The plane relies on the instrument panel and the sensitivity of the instrument panel moving with the mechanical parts of the plane that are actually moving it. So, for example, let's say there's a tailwind and it moves it a little bit to the right. So the instrument panel says, no, move a little bit more over. Going too far to the left, come to the right a little bit. Too far center, go to the left. It's always making these little tiny micro adjustments until it actually lands in the place where it's supposed to. We're kind of the same. You know, if you think about it, our bodies are like that instrument panel on the plane. Our bodies are so amazing, and we're just not aware of how incredibly capable our bodies are. We take them so for granted. I have to tell you, your body is not your enemy. That's really important to know, is that your body is not your enemy. So let's do a little exercise. I want you to, you know what? How can I switch this? Nope. I have another camera, but okay. So for now, oh, this is so awkward. How am I going to do this? Okay. So I want you to put your hands on your belly, and I want you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing that, and just tune in for a moment and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Do you feel your last meal sloshing around in there? Are you feeling hungry? How are you feeling? Our bodies are telling us all the time what's going on. But many times what happens is we don't pay attention to our bodies. We get so sidetracked with all of the stress and all of the demands that are going on in our life, and we just lose track. We dissociate from our bodies. So let's see. And that is feedback. Now, if you think about it, your body knows exactly how much blood to pump into your heart. It knows exactly how to go down the stairs. It knows exactly how to heal itself. It's amazing. You know, you know exactly, your body knows how to digest the food, knows how to release your kidneys when you have to relieve yourself and go to the bathroom. You don't have to look at charts. You don't have to look at a set of rules to do this. No, it's your body's internal awareness. It does it without you doing anything. It's all done for you. And you know what's actually magical is that in the same way that your body knows exactly how to take care of itself in every other way, it can also help you to manage what you eat without dieting, which is so amazing. So I wanted to ask you, this is a powerful time for me where I'm very much in a rebuilding phase in my life. After my husband passed away, wow, and so many losses followed after. My life is nothing like the way it used to be. So what I wanted to ask you is, what phase of your life are you in now? Are you in a rebuilding phase like me? Are you in perhaps a grieving phase like me? Are you in that busy phase where you have a plan, you have a goal, and you're going zooming right forward? Well, just like the cycle of a butterfly, our lives kind of reflect the same kind of wisdom. And butterflies are the symbol of transformation. And I promise we're going to get to the cooking, but I just want to share a bunch of concepts so that you can start to think about them. And the cycles of the butterfly are, there's the caterpillar cycle. And the caterpillar is a big old fluffy green worm. And it's just kind of inching its way around the leaves and around the grass. And it's eating everything that it possibly can. Do you want to know why? I just learned this today. It's amazing. The reason why it eats, I believe it's 10,000 times the amount of its weight, which is just phenomenal to think about. The reason why is because in the caterpillar stage, that little green, fluffy, furry worm is preparing to go into a darkened cocoon and turn itself and liquefy itself, basically, and have the fight of its life to develop a set of wings and become a butterfly. In the cocoon, there's no food. The only thing that the cocoon is for is to protect the caterpillar so that it can go and shelter itself and go through this enormous transformation process where it's becoming something else. Kind of like me after my husband's death. I'm not the same in many ways as I was then. So I'm becoming another version of me. When in the caterpillar stage, everything falls apart. And you could probably relate to this. Identity melts away. It just completely disappears. You lose your identity of who you were. That is no longer. You don't feel like who you were anymore. But you have this sense that you're becoming something and someone else. And I can tell you honestly that when you're in the grief phase, when a part of your life has been, just completely wiped out, you may get depressed. You may feel sad. You may eat more. You may sleep more. You may not want to be with friends. You may push people away. And the reason why is because whatever it is that you listen to your body to do, whatever it is that you feel moved to do, that's what you need in order to be able to go through that transformation process. You struggle and it's hard, but there is something on the other side. There's a whole new life on the other side. As a butterfly, a butterfly. After you go through that painful process of pushing and trying to beat yourself against the walls of the cocoon and feeling the pressure of that isolation and feeling like nobody understands you, maybe feeling like nobody wants you. Many people think that grief kind of follows a timeline. Oh, aren't you over him yet? Get over it. Start over. What's the matter with you? Doesn't work that way. The heart wants what the heart wants. But when you get to that place where you're in that butterfly place, you're in that butterfly stage, that's when, you just explode and you become a better, stronger, wiser version of yourself, because you've taken all of the pain and you've taken all of the sadness and the hurt and the isolation and the anger and all the feelings that you have, and you turned it into a whole new identity. One of the things that I find that I have done after my husband's death is I've become a lot less tolerant. I will say no so quickly, and I will let someone know that's not okay with me. That may have been okay before, but it's not okay anymore. And I will set boundaries. And in my book, Loving the Skin You're In, I have a 93-page chapter teaching you all about boundaries. The difference between saying, no, I can't, versus, no, I won't. Things like that. So I want to share with you, before we start cooking, I want to share with you an experience that I had. It was really hard. My sister-in-law, well, actually, hold on. Last year, I lost 3 beloved family members within 8 months. Now, 2 of them were expected. The whole family, we expected their deaths. They knew they were going to die. It was my sister-in-law's husband. He had heart disease. He was in the last stages of heart disease. And hospice came, and we were all caring for him as well as hospice. And we knew that he only had 20% capacity in his heart, and his organs were shutting down one after the other. So we knew Julio was going to pass away. And then my mother-in-law passed away 6 months later. And we also knew and expected that she was going to pass away. She had diabetes. She had so many complications. She had dementia. She was 93 years old. It was time. So we all knew that was going to happen. We all anticipated it. We all planned for it. We all, had conversations with the doctors. We knew exactly what to expect and when, and we had hospice nurses here, and that was expected. And it was a tense time. Taking care of both of them along with the family was really, really hard and tense. But through it all, I was able to kind of maintain my equilibrium because I use my stress relief tools, my tapping. I meditate every day. But something happened that just completely threw my balance off. 2 months after my sister-in-law, 2 months after my mother-in-law died, my sister-in-law died. And I never, never in a million years expected that to happen. And it did. And without thinking, I just went straight for ice cream. Nothing satisfied me. Nothing gave me that sense of comfort, like being in a womb, being like held, because I felt so lost. Nothing did it for me other than ice cream. I grieved, I cried, I sobbed for her. I'm 62 years old. She was only 65. She spent most of her life taking care of my mother-in-law and her husband. Lourdes was somebody who would always think of others before herself, and she would always put herself last. In many ways, yeah, I think I'm gonna cry. In many ways, Lourdes inspires me to do what I do by helping other women. And the sadness of losing her and recognizing that despite the fact that she was expecting to start living after her husband died and after her mother died, game was over for her. So the grief that overtook me was absolutely inconsolable. So I dove in to ice cream. I mean, I dove in like it was a job. And I ate pints of ice cream. And here in the apartment, this is a 5-floor walk up. And I was noticing that it was getting harder and harder to get up the 5 flights of stairs. Because after my husband had passed away, I lost 67 pounds, following the principles of my losing weight without dieting program. And what that basically is you eat whatever it is that you want. Food is not restricted. It is not something to be feared. You have food around and you feel comfortable with food. You have your favorite foods in the pantry, in the refrigerator, in the countertops. Just don't be afraid. Because if you restrict food, you create this imbalance for your body where deprivation, a sense of like, I have to have it, but I'm not allowed to have it. I shouldn't have it. Where that creates this like resistance and this internal struggle where when you finally get the food, you're going to lose your mind and you're going to overeat it. But if you always have the food around, it's like no big deal. Oh, okay, ice cream, it's always there. Cookies, whatever, there. Bread, there. So, but ice cream was my way, despite the fact that I have a total open door policy with ice cream and all sorts of other foods. I lost that sense of equilibrium that I usually have. And so when Lourdes died, I used ice cream as a way to numb myself by overeating the ice cream and just going from one food coma to another, waking up, eating more ice cream, going back to sleep. It was sad. And over time, I think it was 2 months or 3 months, I gained 55 pounds back. Of the 67 pounds, I regained 55 pounds. Now, I know a lot of women would say, if this were their situation, oh my God, I'm such a failure. What's the matter with me? How could I gain weight like that? I have to stop eating. No more ice cream. But that's not my way. That's not my way at all. This is about feedback versus failure. And what I looked at was I looked at the feedback. And the feedback for me was not so much the weight issue. That was not a big deal because my weight often fluctuates. But what was the big deal for me was this pain that came out of nowhere, where I was basically crippled, having such a hard time moving. My joints were on fire. I was getting chest pains. My knees, my back, my hands were locked like this. My fingers, everything hurt. It hurt to walk. It hurt to stand. It hurt to move. It hurt to sit. Everything. It just hurt. And let's not forget the crippling cramps that were ripping through my body. Wow. And one day I realized the pain that I was experiencing, oh yeah, that's feedback. My body wasn't punishing me. It wasn't angry that I was overeating ice cream. I wasn't calling myself bad or undisciplined or anything like that. It was awareness that, oh, I am experiencing all of these pains in my joints, pains in my chest, because of the inflammation buildup in my body from the extraordinary and excessive amounts of ice cream that I was eating, in addition to the rapid weight gain that just came over me. So my body was saying, Andrea, you're hurting. We're hurting. I need something. I'm grieving. I'm crying. I need to cry. It was calling me back to myself. It was reminding me, come home. It was reminding me to take care of myself and be more gentle. It was saying, I miss you. I need you. Take care of me. And please help me. And that moment, that changed everything for me. I didn't diet. I didn't shame myself. But I started listening really closely. Yeah, I was still eating some ice cream, but I was paying attention. I was paying attention to how I was feeling when I ate the ice cream. What was happening? What was I thinking before I ate the ice cream? What was the amount of ice cream that I was eating? Little tiny course corrections. Just like the airplane. I have a friend who's allergic to bread. And when she eats it, it makes her really bloated and nauseous and digestive problems. And for years, despite the fact that she knew that she had all of these physical challenges, she just kept on eating the bread because she wanted it. She wanted it. Oh my God, come on. The doctor tells her stop eating bread. What did that do? It made her want to eat that much more bread. And so what would happen is she would have that much more pain, so much more pain. The more she said, I can't have bread, the more she obsessed over it. What was I going to have? Was I going to have sourdough bread? Was I going to have brioche? Was I going to have croissant? It was bread, 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 bread. And then one day she did something radical. She said, you know what? I'm going to give myself permission to have the bread. And she started to experiment. And she said, I can have the bread if I want it, but I'm going to pay attention to how it feels in my body. How my body feels when I eat the bread. How my body feels after I eat the bread. No guilt, no rules, just being curious. That's all. And what happened was once she allowed herself to eat the bread, once she gave herself permission to eat the bread, whichever one it was, she started noticing the discomfort. Ooh, I don't like the way that feels. That indigestion, that feeling of nausea after she ate something. And she paid attention to the amounts. And wow, if I ate like 4 croissants, then I felt so sick that I had to vomit. But if I had 1, feels different. Just noticing, that's all. So what happened was that as she was noticing the bloating, the discomfort, the gassiness, the pain of indigestion, her body remembered. Her body said, oh, we do not want to feel this way. This is terrible. And it had nothing to do with willpower. She started eating less and less and less bread and actually feeling kind of grossed out by it. Just feeling like, oh no, this really is not for me. I don't want this. And it wasn't willpower. And it wasn't self-control. She wasn't white knuckling it. She just started naturally eating less bread because she put together in her mind that eating bread made her feel this awful way in her body. She said, no, that's not for me. I don't want that. What I'm saying is that when you listen to your body without judgment, without restricting, when you pay attention and you listen to your body will talk to you. And you will find out what is right for you. Your body makes a choice. She either chose to eat the bread knowing that she would get really sick, her joints would go on fire, and she'd be in pain, or she chose not to eat the bread. No pain. In my book, one of the quotes that I have that I've written is that we teach people how to treat us. And if you've had any experience with relationships, specifically one-sided relationships, where somebody is always taking and taking and taking, and you're the giver. You're the one who's working to get the approval of the person. You want their respect. You want their appreciation. You want their validation. And it feels like you're this endless one-sided fountain, this supply of giving, 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 and you are getting nothing in return, well, as I write, we're always teaching people how to treat us. And if you don't like the way that you're being treated, it is never, never, never too late to say, nope, nope, we're changing the rules. This is not okay with me anymore. So it's never too late to change. Have you ever had a friendship that drained you and you felt small and you felt judged and used and kind of invisible? Well, that, when you're aware of that, that's your body saying, hey, something's wrong. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to dump that friend and say, no, you're toxic, you're not for me. But it probably means you need to set some boundaries. Okay? It probably means that your body knows before your mind did. You may get a tight chest. You may feel angry. You may feel anxiety in your stomach when they text you. That discomfort that you're feeling, that right there is feedback. That is telling you that something has to change. It's not saying you're a bad friend and I'm not going to spend any time with you. But it's saying you need to change things. You need to set a boundary. You need to make some decisions of what you want in that relationship. This relationship needs to change. Or maybe even it's time to let go. So not only is physical pain feedback, but emotional pain is feedback. And when you have tension in a relationship, that's feedback, letting you know that something needs to change. Now, this is going to be kind of crazy. You may think that the pain is horrible and you're suffering and it's the worst thing ever. But I want you to think of the butterfly. I want you to think about the butterfly that starts out as the caterpillar and it's eating everything it possibly can. It's eating 10,000 times the amount that it possibly can. And then when its body says, okay, that's enough, ready to go into the cocoon and transform, it liquefies, and then it consumes its own energy and beats itself against the walls of the cocoon in preparation to build wings, to sprout wings. And so what's coming next is after that struggle, after that pain period, after that isolation, that depression, that overeating you may be going through, that grieving that you may be going through, that betrayal that you're feeling the pain of. The wings are coming. Your rising is coming. So what I want you to do is I want you to change the way that you think of the pain, of the betrayal, of the anger, of the hurt, and recognize it as a gift. Recognize it as a blessing and thank it. Thank you. Thank you for the pain. Thank you for the weight gain. Thank you for the cheating husband. Thank you for the betrayal. Thank you for the fair weather friend. All of these things. Because when you're able to look at the pain in your life and see it as going through to the other side, you being the butterfly sprouting the wings, that will completely change your experience of being in that isolation period, that cocoon period. So say, thank you, body, for alerting me. Thank you, grief, for showing me how. Thank you, grief, for showing me how I loved. Thank you, anxiety, for showing me I don't feel safe. Thank you, cravings, for showing me I need comfort now. Thank you, weight gain, for relieving. Thank you, weight gain, for relieving. Nope. Thank you, weight gain, for revealing where I'm carrying unspoken grief. Be grateful for the misery. Be thankful for the pain. Be humble and accept the wisdom, because it's moving you to higher ground. You are sprouting wings, preparing to rise. Pain isn't punishment. Pain is guidance. So let's make some French toast. How is this going to work? That's weird. I don't think that I have a way to add that camera. Let me see. No. Huh. Okay, I think what I'll do. Oh, bummer. Okay, I think what I'll do is I will make the French toast and record that and add it to this. And I wanted to share a story about one of my first losing weight without dieting clients. We'll call her Ayla. She was, without a doubt, the one who had experienced the most profound change in her weight. When she came, she had problems with binging and purging, and she completely changed the way that she ate, and she had lost 76 pounds. And everybody was just milling around her and saying, oh my gosh, Ayla, you look so amazing. You look fabulous. And one person told her she looked gaunt, and she considered that a tremendous compliment. And everybody was noticing her and making comments about how great she looked, except one person. And that was her husband. And one day she asked to borrow his computer to do some work at home. And she noticed a message came through from his ex-girlfriend saying, thank you for last night. Ayla was broken-hearted. Her heart shattered. She confronted him, and he confessed. And she said to him, we will never speak about this again. And she told me that she had done that. And just like the caterpillar that went into the cocoon, she stopped talking. She got really quiet. She was very, very outspoken. She had a wonderful, wonderful way of, speaking, and public speaking as well. And she said the pain made her disappear. It moved into her body. And over the next several months, she gained about 40 pounds. And it wasn't because she lacked willpower, and it wasn't because she was out of control. There was a reason. Yeah, she was out of control, but there was a reason. She was grieving. She was brokenhearted. And I want you to think about that. And if that's something that you're experiencing, a season in your life, if right now you are in a time of your life where you're grieving and you're using food to comfort you, I want you to know there's no shame in doing that. There's nothing wrong with that. It gives you comfort. It's what you know. It makes you feel safe. That's all good. So I have a dear friend and mentor who's a singer and songwriter. Her name is Janice Stanfield. And years ago, she wrote this beautiful song called Butterfly. I just want to read a little bit of the lyrics, and maybe, wouldn't it be so cool if I could get Jana to join me in a live stream? She's in Bali right now, but if I could get Jana to join me in a live stream and actually come and play and sing with her guitar, that would be so cool. So the lyrics say, well, let me tell you the perspective. She wrote the lyrics about butterfly from the perspective of the caterpillar and the butterfly. So this part that I'm reading to you now, it's what the little caterpillar would say to the butterfly. Now think about that butterfly. Think about that caterpillar where it's beating itself in the cocoon, and it's dark and it's liquid and it's scary and it's hungry. And it doesn't see an end. It doesn't see a way out. So it's looking for some inspiration. And that's where Jana's song comes in. And she writes, butterfly, please tell me again. It's going to be all right. I can feel a change is coming. I can feel it in my skin. I can feel myself outgrowing the life I've been living in. And I'm afraid of change. Butterfly, please tell me again. I'm going to be all right. Now, the other part of this is the butterfly. The butterfly, free and completely pain-free and flying, rising above. But all the things we long for are born on the wings of change, and losses can lead us to blessings that we can't explain. Butterflies remind us there's magic in every life, and we can become what we dream of if fat, furry worms could fly. So, think about that. If fat, furry worms can fly, what can you be capable of doing? It's amazing. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to make the French toast. Oh, this is such a bummer. How can I do this? Okay, let's see. Yes, see my gorgeous professional setup. What a scream. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do here. Let's move this over here. Put this over here. Whoopsie. No, wait. That, like that. Move that. So, can I see? Okay. Kind of, sort of. Okay. Okay, fine. Here we go. Oof. Okay. All right. Can we get this brighter? Maybe not. Okay. Bummer. Oh my goodness. Seriously? Oh, magic. The cool thing about eggshells is they're like magnets. All you have to do, I cannot believe that I got like 500 pieces of eggshell in here. So all you have to do is get one piece of eggshell and then it'll attract the others. Oh, good. I get to show you again. Fabulous. So you take one piece. There we go. Just fish it right out. I'm going to use 6 eggs. One more piece of eggshell. Good. Oh, another one too. Fabulous. Come on. Jeez. Oh my God. Oh my God. Come on. Nope, a little bit more. Good. Ugh. Wow. Let's move this a little bit. When you beat the egg, let me add a little bit of milk. I like almond breeze. And what I like to do okay. So what I like to do is I like to put my French toast in the freezer. So that way it's really easy for me to enjoy it anytime during the week. So I do a whole bunch of pieces at once. Let me grab this. Fabulous. I like to get the thicker bread. You could use brioche, you could use challah, you could really use any bread that you want to. Okay. I think I'll do 6. Okay. So now I'm going to move this party to the stove top. Let me add some butter. I love Land O'Lakes. Oops. Forgot. Be right back. Okay. Do that. Okay. Keep those up. Let me move this. Okay. All right. Put like a tablespoon in each. Okay. There we go. Lower the fire a little. There we go. Bummer. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. Good. So while my screen just went black. Okay, so I'm new to live streams. This is a lot of fun, but it's very new for me. Things have changed since the old days of Facebook being so easy to stream. So I'm learning. And you know what? It's feedback, not failure. Learning little by little. My experience with gaining weight and my memory of Ayla's experience and how she felt like such a tremendous failure. I didn't want that to happen to other women. I wanted them to understand that okay. Okay, so here we go. There's butter in both of the pans. I have a low to medium flame. I'm gonna go gently. And I want to share a program that I have that is going to be available as a Black Friday special. My experience of my 55-pound weight gain and my memory of my client Ayla feeling like such a tremendous failure after she lost 76 pounds and she was grieving the betrayal of her husband who cheated on her. I didn't want other people, other women, to go through the grief process and gain weight, feeling the extra added burden of feeling like a failure, because that's just not the case. That's part of the process of loss. So I was inspired to take the bones of my Losing Weight Without Dieting program and to combine that with other videos that I created after my sister-in-law and mother-in-law and brother-in-law passed away that make up the program that I have that I'm making available, and it's called Release the Weight of Grief. And it hasn't been yet created, so I cannot completely tell you what's in it, but I can tell you some of the basics. Let me check. Ooh, beautiful. Hold on. This is gorge. Let me take that. Gorgeous. Okay. so beautiful. Let's see how's this doing. And we got a little bit too close together. Okay. Mhm. Okay. The feedback for these is the flame would have been better if it was much, much lower. Okay. So I'm going to reduce that flame. These are so pretty. Let me do this. Let me add a little more butter because butter is better. Okay. Beautiful. Done. Done. Gorgeous. Okay, gorgeous. Mmm. Let me serve myself some. Which one? Two of them, in fact. Come with me. Oh, yes, baby. That is yummy. How do I get this? Okay. I cannot seem to get both of them. Well, a little bit, kind of, sort of. Oh, yes, baby. Oh, yes. I love an inside part. Oh. Yum. Ooh. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that is so good. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So good. So, this was fun. Let's definitely do this again. And I hope that you have a great, great day. And I will leave all the links for you so that you could take a look at the program. Well, actually, I don't have the information about the program, but I definitely recommend that if you enjoyed any of the things that I shared with you, you're going to want to follow my Substack. My Substack is my blog. I have a ton of stories and posts that I've been putting there, and lots and lots of self-love tips for you. So have a great day. Bye now. Oh my God. I'm so digging this.